Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, it was a record-breaking Sunday inside Assembly Hall. We'll give you the story and the details from the rivalry game.
And men's tennis caught fire this weekend in Bloomington. We'll give you the scoop from their matches. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Gabe Pontones.
And I'm Ashley Voss. Gabe, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Love is in the air.
Yes,
and want
it
to
is.
know what I love?
What do you love?
Indiana women's basketball.
And I especially love it when they break records. Indiana women's basketball hosted rivals Purdue on Sunday as they look to once again sweep the series. Our Alex Hines has the recap.
Indiana women's basketball gets their 11th straight win over rival Purdue, 95-62. But there was bigger history in Bloomington on Sunday, as with 17 points, Mackenzie Holmes passed Tyra Buss to become the Hoosiers' all-time leading scorer with 2,365 points.
Going into the season, I knew it was within reach for me, but it wasn't something that, I didn't come back for a fifth year to break the all-time leading scoring record. I came back to win Big Ten championship, win national championships. It's just a really special thing for me where Indiana comes to my chest every single day, and play in Assembly Hall has just been one of the greatest blessings in my life. So I think I just was kind of feeling that when I saw, Tyra and Amanda up there on the screen.
We were going to get it one way or the other. Whether she got fouled, got to the free throw line, but like I said, we knew, felt very confident if we could get Yarden in, Yarden would find her. She is proud, as I said, we were walking off and she said, this has been a huge weight that's now off my shoulders. So it's not something that she hadn't been thinking about. It was great to see the thing go in. Again, the applause, the cheering, all that was pretty special. I know that her teammates are super excited for her.
Coming off a triple-double on Thursday, Chloe Moore McNeil had another career day on Sunday. She led all scorers with a career-high 22 points, including a perfect 5 of 5 from behind the arc.
I think this against Purdue, it just means more. And I'm always competitive, but I think it's just different when it's a rival team.
We asked her to be more aggressive, and that's what she's doing. She has been. I loved it. I love the fact that she stuck all those threes today.
Indiana heads to Madison on Wednesday to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. From Simon Scott Assembly Hall, I'm Alex Hines, IUSTV Sports.
On Wednesday, the Hoosiers suffered just their 4th loss of the season in a shocking defeat to the Badgers. Indiana will hit the road once again on Monday as they head to Champaign, Illinois to take on the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Men's basketball traveled up to West Lafayette on Saturday looking to avenge their loss earlier this season against Purdue. But the Boilermakers had their way again. Our Josh Bodie has the recap.
The second game against Purdue this season ended a lot like the first, in a blowout. 21-point deficit in the first game and 20 tonight. Purdue had a double-digit lead at halftime and went on a 10-0 run to start the second half.
And we were so awful coming out the second half, couldn't make shots, and they capitalized on it.
They just lost our intensity and our focus. I had a bad turnover to start the half, and it kind of just spiraled down the line with all of us, and it kind of just showed. But we got to take care of the ball on the road, and obviously there's very little room for error.
Indiana was going to need a star player to step up tonight. Malik Renew had 26 points in the comeback win against Ohio State, but tonight he had just 6.
I thought Malik tonight he just wasn't Malik, and they had a lot to do with that from a defensive standpoint, and I think he was trying to do it himself and just looked out of character.
Purdue had their way offensively, getting a lot of open looks and knocked down 8 threes. Following the game, the sentiment from Mike Woodson and Galloway was not the end of the world. They made it clear there's still more basketball to be played.
The season's not over with, guys. We still have 6 more games, 7 more games, I believe, to go, and anything can happen. We got 4 of those 7 at home.
We got 7 games, so we know our season's not over. It's far from over. Obviously, this one game hurts, and it's a rivalry, but 7 more games, and take it one game at a time and try to win every one of them.
From Mackey Arena, I'm Josh Brody, IUSTV Sports.
Indiana takes on Northwestern at Assembly Hall on Sunday after an 8-day break. Mike Whitson will be looking for his first win against the Wildcats, the only Big Ten team he has yet to beat.
Indiana softball went all the way to the Sunny State for the NFCA leadoff class over the weekend, and they got off to a blazing start. In their first game, the Hoosiers upset number 15th ranked Oregon 7-5. Brianna Copeland, to the surprise of no one, was the X factor in that game by pitching 8 strikeouts and hitting a home run. The Hoosiers held close to Valerie Cagle and number 5 Clemson, with the game coming down to the final out. Indiana bounced back in their next games with comeback wins over Army and Kansas. Sophie Kleiman and Macy Montgomery combined for a shutout in the finale for the Hoosiers to finish the weekend 4-1. But this is just one step to completing what the team wants to accomplish this season.
Yeah, we're going to see some really good competition. And so these next 2 weekends on the road are pivotal if we want to continue to make a name for ourselves on the softball landscape.
Softball will stay down south as they'll head to the Troy Invite this weekend.
Coming up after the break, we crown our Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And wrestling traveled to Ohio State looking for their 4th straight win. This is Hoosier Sports Night. Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Now joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is our very own Chase Sotsky.
Thanks, guys. As a Hoosier athlete, one of the greatest feelings in the world is dominating our rival up north in a packed Assembly Hall. What if I told you that someone could do all that and break an all-time scoring record in the process? Well, that is what Mackenzie Holmes did on Sunday, as she is this week's Hoosier Highlights Athlete of the Week. After scoring a layup late in the 4th quarter, Holmes was greeted with a standing ovation as she had just scored her 2,365th career point to surpass Tyra Buss for the most points scored in Hoosier history. What an incredible night for Holmes, who broke the record and helped the Hoosiers get the 95-62 blowout victory over the Boilermakers. Mackenzie Holmes, this week's Hoosier Highlights Athlete of the Week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Number 22 Indiana Wrestling traveled to Columbus, Ohio on Saturday to take on the 6th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. The Hoosiers dropped the meet 32-6, but the highlight of the match was Roman Rogotsky picking up a win at 184 pounds by a score of 18-11 in sudden victory. 18th-ranked Brayton Lee also took down a ranked Buckeye at 4-2 at 157 pounds. 32nd-ranked redshirt freshman dropped a close match against a ranked foe, 9-6. Indiana is back at Wilkinson Hall on Friday to take on the 9th-ranked Michigan Wolverines.
It was another undefeated weekend for the IU men's tennis team that was finished off with a shocking finish. The Indiana men's tennis team maintained their undefeated home record with 3 more wins at the IU Tennis Center. While the first 2 matches went as expected, shutting out Drake and Brown University, the 3rd match against the top 30-ranked Middle Tennessee State surprised everyone. Behind surprise singles wins by Sam Landau and Jagger Saylor, the Hoosiers took the match by a razor-thin 4-3 score to pull off one of their best results in recent memory.
It was amazing to keep the winning streak going. This is the best team that we've played probably all year, to be honest. Memphis was very good, but best team that we played at home. And, you know, for us to come out here and play the doubles the way we did and set the tone for the match, and, you know, it just shows that we have confidence.
The Hoosiers head to Texas to take on Rice University on Saturday.
Indiana track and field collected 6 more podium finishes along with 9 personal bests on the final day of the Windy City Invitational this past weekend. Austin Haskett and Mariah Worley took 1st and 2nd in the men's and women's 300 meter. Nathan Stone took home 1st in the pole vault, and Antonio Laidler and Jessica Mercier each placed in invite sections. The Hoosiers traveled to South Bend for the Alex Wilson Invitational on Saturday before competing in the Big Ten Indoor Championships on February 23rd and 24th. The Hoosiers travel to South Bend for the Alex Wilson Invitational on Saturday before competing in the Big Ten Indoor Championships on Friday, February 23rd and 24th.
The Indiana women's tennis team was in Tuscaloosa this past week, taking on Kansas State and Alabama. Against Kansas State, freshman Lee Sin Lin and junior Lara Schneider earned the number 2 doubles win before the Wildcats took the point in number 3 doubles and won 3 straight single sets. The struggles continued the next day against Alabama, dropping the match 4-1. Earning the sole point from the Hoosiers was Lara Schneider, winning the number 1 singles in straight sets 6-0 and 6-4. The Hoosiers look to get back in the win column as they host Memphis this Thursday.
Now joining us this week for this week's Candy Stripe calendar report is Alex Drago. Alex?
Thank you, guys. There is a fun sports-filled weekend ahead. First up, men's baseball goes against number 12 Duke in Myrtle Beach on Friday at 11 a.m. Women's softball also plays Friday against Florida A&M at 11 and then Troy University at 5 p.m., both in Troy, Alabama. On Saturday, men's tennis will head down to Houston to play Rice University at 11 a.m. The softball team will continue in Troy with a doubleheader against Gardner-Webb University at 12 p.m. and Troy University at 6 p.m. Wrapping up on Saturday, the men's baseball team will play against number 18 Coastal Carolina University at 3 p.m. To finish off the weekend strong, women's water polo competes against St. Francis University at 10:30 a.m. and Salem University at 3:30 p.m. Men's basketball will look for a win against Northwestern at Assembly Hall at 3 p.m. That's all for this weekend's Candy Stripe calendar. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alex. And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Ashley Voss.
And I'm Gabe Pontones. We'll see you next week.